is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news and intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversations. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty, only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Run things 24/7, 48/4. Keep it on the talk. And I take back talk. Watch out. Me boy, them no like me, I me no like them. Them are me enemy, me and them no friend. Them no like me, I me no like them. Them are me enemy, me and them no friend. Me come again, really cut from the game, and them me come again. Really
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
One day over man, them cause them a work too much over for people, children, they come feel good. One day informer, them a do too much informing and a cause problem, they come feel good. One day backbiter, them a do too much backbiting and a cause problem, me ball. Them no like me and me no like them. Them a me enemy, me and them no friends. Them no like me and me no like them. Them a me enemy, me and them no friend. Go tell your friend. The people come for run things again. Go tell your friend. Now go run it 24/7. Go tell your friend. Me not give no game man friend. Go tell your friend. Me not give no sada my friend. Go tell your friend. Me don't want a backbite friend. Go tell your friend.
You got it loaded to the Wednesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up till 6 p.m. The fireman Capleton bringing us in. It is a Wednesday. It is midweek. It's going to be an open line Wednesday. So we definitely want to hear from each and every one of you. And MJ, what's good?
I'm good. How's everything with you?
It is Wednesday. It's ready to go, ready to roll. Open line. You know how we do it. Lots to talk about.
So much happening in the country.
Now, I got a little FYI for you because, you know, I like to keep you in the know and get you where you want to go. So bear with me. I got some public service announcements that I have to make. First and foremost, this one right here, I want everybody to pay attention. If you want to win big this summer, all right, all you have to do is listen out to Guardian Radio. That's right. Guardian Radio and Guardian Media Group want you away for the summer. You ready to get away for the summer, MJ? The Great Summer Escape Giveaway. You can win a trip for two, including hotel, car, luggage, and $1,000 cash. All you need to do is have your passport ready. Just get Nassau Guardian newspaper, fill out the entry form, drop it in the entry box at the Nassau Guardian in Oakesfield, and tune in to Guardian Radio and follow the Nassau Guardian on all social media platforms for your chances to win. The Guardian Media Group Great Summer Escape Giveaway. Deadline to enter is August 12th, drawing August 14th. And also want you to bear in mind, got another one for you as well. All soccer fans. Now all of a sudden it's niche to say football. Y'all know y'all just be calling it soccer all year round. Calling all soccer and now European football fans. Nassau Cruise Port for the FIFA World Cup final on Sunday, July 19th. Gates open at 1 p.m. with kickoff at 3 p.m. Cheer on your favorite team while enjoying the match on the big screen. Visit Nassau Cruise Ports on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Well, MJ España, in brilliant fashion, knocked off the French. And to all my Frenchies here in the 242 who like to hang out down there by Spritz and Old Fort and Sandy Port. Quiet, Frenchies. Slip it. Lock it. Know your role. Shut your mouth. All right?
That was a great game. You're gonna show off now, right? You're gonna rub it in, right?
Of course.
That was a great game yesterday, though.
Yeah, it was a brilliant game, and it was a clear penalty. So I don't want anybody to cry. It was all within the regulations of the rules and configurations of soccer or football worldwide. And then the second goal by Pedro Porro was a great was a great pass from Pedri, and then Pedro Porro with the finish was beautiful. So I anticipate Spain finishing the deal. Because one thing I noticed, what I thought was brilliant, none of them said, oh, it's done. They all had the Mamba mentality. Like, we got to go finish it. We got to go finish it. We got to go finish it. And that's what I like to see. And they're going to have a tough opponent, Argentina or Great Britain. 0-0 at the half right now. Okay,
Yeah, still scoreless. Still
Lionel
scoreless.
has been held in check.
So far, and so has Jude Bellingham, I guess you would say.
Yes, for the most part, but that means it's going to crank up and probably be a ratcheted up second half.
Photo
A
finish.
lot of pressing and because obviously you don't want to go to penalties. You want to try end it in regulation.
Oh my God! I if it ends in penalties, I am so wary for that English squad because remember a couple of years ago the penalties, how that turned out. They didn't win.
Countries always turn negative on their soccer
Very
players who they
negative.
love so much. Penalties will cause anything. If
Except for
you
missed
miss a penalty
penalty.
at a crush time, buddy, big time. What?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you could look back in the annals of soccer history and you will see that there's been some tragedies for some missed penalties. Kind of nice thing out of the World Cup, that photograph of Yamin Yamal in the bathtub and Messi over
That is
him, and
such a
19 years
crazy,
later.
such a
Wow.
crazy photo because at first I thought it was AI. I won't even lie. It's like, this can't be real. But to know that that is an actual real photo of Messi and Lamine Yamal when he was just a couple of months old, and to see where both their careers have taken them, and the fact that there's a potential for both of them to be on the pitch and in the World Cup finals. That is just, I don't know what the odds of that photo happening and then them both ending up with the careers that they've had, coming to pass, but the numbers must be astronomical.
I know. So I anticipate a great final, whoever makes it. But I would like to see Lionel there.
Why?
like
He
to-
won. He won one the last time. I mean,
But
really?
I want to see him pass the torch this time to Yamal.
Okay. All right. We'll see.
I think 19 years later, come on, you got to give it up at some point. And
Yeah.
I think Spain wants it more than anybody else. And if you look around, maybe they don't have the best players in the world. Maybe France actually had more, world class players, like best in the world. But as a unit, Spain we can't beat them.
Just
They-
shows
they-
when
they
you
know
work
their job.
together, work
work-
together as a country, right, and have a system and execute on your goals, on your plans.
And what I like about their system is years ago, when they couldn't succeed, they said, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to call it the gravel pit. And we started the gravel and we build up. And what they did was they employed all the top league teams in Spain. Real Madrid, Barcelona, Athletic Bilbao, Real Sociedad, all those top tier teams in La Liga. They say, you have a great program already started where you bring youth up in the program. We're going to borrow all these, youth, and we're going to take them to the gravel pit and make the best in the world. And that's where you saw the last batch of, Spaniards that won the World Cup and now potentially poised the next generation, and they continue to build. So I think it's something that they're onto. And I think a lot of people are now starting to look at it differently around the world, especially in Europe. Now, even in South America, you see Brazil and certain other teams now adopting some of the things that the Spanish are doing, because obviously they're breaking through. And take nothing from the French; they were a great team. But shut up, Frenchies, 2-0.
Yeah, they're doing well. I think Spain has this one. I long for the day our beach soccer team, does something on a global scale, like consistently, and is regarded as, one of the best.
We were up there a couple of years ago in the potential to do that, but we need to maximize the stadium, going on as we can, and keep the team playing as much as you can. You can't have long layoffs and expect them to be able to perform.
Yeah.
One thing about these teams, they play together, and they play when they're not playing in their different professional leagues, they're playing in qualifiers and so on and so forth.
Right. And they don't have the problem of people aging out, in a sense. So.
No, I mean, if you're too old now for the national team, that's fine. That still means you got enough time to have an illustrious professional career throughout Europe. And because you were on that team, signed for big dollars.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You remember what happened with the last batch? I mean, Fernando Torres, Iniesta, Xavi Alonso, all of those guys.
Yeah.
Just Fabregas, they all went to Europe. They all went to London. They all went to Britain with Liverpool and different European squads and in Denmark as well. And they got paid. I want to start seeing some of our soccer players get there, because we have a vast amount of talented soccer players, boys and girls throughout the archipelago. And we need to start looking at, where they can end up professionally as well, because there's a ton of leagues around the world paying for it. So
yeah,
you gotta
that'll be
look at-
good to see. That'll be good to see one of these days.
Now, something we talked about, let me pivot to this real quick, MJ. Something we talked about, hit home with us and other friends and ours, blood donations. And right now, I have to put out a very important blood donation. Good friend of mine, Officer Virgil, part of one of my longest running fantasy football leagues. And Virgil's a good dude, apart from being I think he's a Bronco fan, if I'm mistaken.
Oh no.
Yeah, one of them. But nonetheless, his mom is in urgent need of blood donations. All right, so if you want to donate, Clarice Virgil Allen, please get down and donate for Clarice Virgil Allen at the Princess Margaret Hospital Blood Bank, Collins Avenue. You are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Okay, so if you can't make it today, and obviously they're closed, but make sure to make that effort tomorrow for me. All right, and it's in the name of Clarice Virgil Allen. Okay, get it? Got it? Good. Thank you. And we know how it is. The blood you donate today may be the blood you need tomorrow.
Yeah, and that absolutely hits home. You know, I
And
hope
all
that.
the best to Mrs. Virgil, all right? And we'll take care. We'll take care of Officer Virgil in the fantasy group, but you take care of yourself and get
Yeah,
better.
I
We'll
hope that
get
anyone
those
that's
donations
able
your way.
to go out and donate does so. Please, if you can, go down to the Princess Margaret Blood Bank and give that donation.
All right, let's get to the phone lines real quick, MJ. Talking heads.
Hey, Naughty, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
I heard you and MJ talking about seeing how we can advance our soccer program and the potential that we have in country. One of the things that I've long advocated for, especially as we go through this World Cup season, I want to encourage as many parents who have a love for the game to encourage their children to develop such a love, because I've been made to understand that we do not have enough kids in country to take part in the amount of soccer scholarships that are available to our students. And like you, soccer is one of the most leading, top-paying sports in the world. It may not seem as popular as the NBA or the MLB, but you can have, amazing careers in playing soccer, or even just use it as your ticket and your vehicle to go to school. And so I want to encourage as many parents. It's an easy sport to take part in, to get your kids involved in soccer, and it can take your kids around the world in grade A schools.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, no, thank you for that, caller. You're absolutely right. I think it's our perspective too, right? Because I don't think we even realize how big soccer is. It's bigger than the NBA globally.
Right,
you know what I mean?
So at the sports center, just to encourage kids. We normally say there's nothing for our kids, but that's one avenue that we can encourage our kids to take part in and grow in the discipline. Thanks,
do you know if anything else is happening this summer, caller?
There's a lot of stuff going on, MJ.
With the soccer.
Our people don't take the time out to be intentional. We like to be a part of the choir and complain. I just looked at. I have some neighbors with young kids. It doesn't appear as if no one took the time out to say, let me find a summer camp. And I can say that there's so many things that are going with churches that have been doing summer camps. So there are things going on. You can't afford to pay this summer program fee, but there are free programs that are ongoing throughout the entire summer. People just have to be intentional. And I think we are too intentional on finding an opportunity to babysit our kids versus finding an environment blossom and grow in, something that's meaningful and substantial to their growth and development. They're always just looking for somewhere for them to be for a period of time. We got to get beyond that if we want better for our society. And
I love the way you said that. I love the way you said we have to be more intentional. I think that applies in so many aspects of, what we do in our daily lives. But yeah, for the kids, for sure, intentional and find some free camps if the paid ones are kind of cost prohibitive. Thank you very much, caller.
Naughty, that, prioritizing, providing for our children in terms of home and shelter and food and clothing and so forth is a priority. But it's a priority for us to ensure that they're in environments that they can grow in healthy ways also. That is just as important as the household and all the other things that we believe are priority. Stop leaving them to their own devices, literally.
Yeah, you're making excellent points, Carl. I agree. You're making good stuff. Good points. I agree with everything you said. The environment is key. We as parents should be able to say, okay, we are leaving our child in this facility. Like you say, you're going to learn. They're going to get nurtured in the right way. They're going to learn sports or learn academics or take part in a camp that's wholesome for the summer, and know it's going to be all right. Not in fear of horror stories to the camps.
No, do you remember those? And I'm going to leave on this note. You remember when we were in school? Every summer we got back to school. You know, without a shadow of a doubt, the first week of school, you were going to have to write, what did I did this summer?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you got to read about 8 books.
I don't know if it still happens, but the reason for that, at least for us, it develops something in us in terms of wanting to have to say next year, I want my story to sound good when I tell my story.
And be true.
That helps rob a lot of our young people of their ambition and aspirations in itself. So we got to get back to some of these foundational things and understand why they were once a part of our development growing up and what it's robbing the next generations of. And so find something for your kid to talk about when he gets back to school. Even if it's that you only send him to the family island to go in the field with Grammy. Find an experience that they can connect to other than the traumatic stuff that they see happening in our society daily. Thank you, Naughty.
All right, I'm a good one, man. Good stuff, as always. You always make some good points, man. Let me get these numbers in real quick, because obviously we want you to chime in. Text lines are going to be open, 422-422-4796. Phone lines open in New Providence, 323-6232, 325-4259, 325-4316. Toll free in any one of the family islands, 242-300-5720. Stream us live, take us wherever you want to go, GuardianTalkRadio.com. That's GuardianTalkRadio.com. Now, before we get to the break, MJ, sad news, and I wanted to mention it. First of all, melancholy news. Happy birthday to our good brethren and my good longtime brethren, Buju Banton. Gargamel, happy birthday on your Earth Strong, man. Enjoy this and many more. But on a sadder note, MJ, we lost a big-time artist in the reggae world, Mr. Fantan Mojah.
Oh, wow.
And he performed there several times, and he good peoples, you know what I mean? Great interview as well when interviewed him, and I interviewed him. And I'll be honest with you, I had a heart condition, heart problems, and ended up, passing a heart failure, complications due to heart failure. So I want to send my thoughtful prayers and condolences and a lot of mercy to all my Yardie brethren and sister here in the 242. Papers or not, it's all good. I know that's a big man. That's a big man in the business. We enjoyed his music, and he was good peoples. If you got to meet him, you'd see he was a good person. And at the end of the day, we lost him. So going to the break, I'd just like to send this one out. And several texts chimed in already. So here you go. You thought I forgot, but I did it, man. One time for the late, great Fantan Mojah.
Rasta got soul, reggae music rocking my bones, my bones. It's never getting old. Reggae music more and more and more. No influence, but we go do another thing for me. Wanna reggae music me a sing. Some don't know the history and don't know the blabbering. Enough now show respect to the elder them. We have to crown them, heights them as a great legend. You can't come tell me say you are the man when reggae music you don't understand. What about the music? Them just a hustle and a try to abuse it. Why? Them just wanna see it, them want to read. And I sell we are cheap. Respect to the youths, them we bust from the ghetto across the road. Them mad reggae music a echo. For them a bandwagonists, them can't follow this. Listen the lion, we are got soul. Reggae music rocking my bone. My bone, it's never getting old. Reggae music more and more.
Dive in hot with the new KFC Dunk Buffalo Ranch. A crispy ranch chicken sandwich with buffalo sauce on the side. For just $8.90 for how you want it. KFC, it's finger licking good.
Everybody dunk, everybody ranch.
Put more money back in your pocket with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low, easy payment. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Hey kids, are you ready? It's back! The Jeff Rogers Summer Basketball Camp. July 27th to 31st at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, 2 to 5 p.m. daily, and August 3rd to 8th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for boys and girls from 5 to 18. Come enjoy the thrills of the big game alongside NBA legends and current superstars Michael Sweetbells Thompson, Michael Jr., Klay Thompson, Buddy Hield, Muggsy Bogues, and many others. Registration forms available now at the Seventh-day Adventist offices on Tony Williams Darling Highway. The Jeff Rogers Summer Basketball Camp. No budget for a vacation this summer? No worries. We got you. Guardian Radio 96.9 will fly you and a guest to South Florida for a vacation of a lifetime. Our sweet summer escape gets you round-trip tickets on Bahamas Air. $1,000 spending cash, thanks to Percy's Island Games. Brand new luggage from Brass and Leather. 4 days and 3 nights at the beautiful Holiday Inn Express Plantation. Free car rental from Hertz, too. All you need is your passport. We got you covered. Enter now for Sweet Summer Escape. Fill out the form in today's Nassau Guardian and follow us on all social media platforms. Remember, you must be 18 or older to enter. Entry deadline August 12th, drawing August 14th. Taxes not included and certain restrictions apply.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM.
It's time for the buzz. What are you buzzing on? Brought to you by John's Shoes.
Informer, them may come again. Really good when they back my head and them may come again. Really good when they sad my head, them may come again. They're gonna good when they game and them may come really good. When they game and them.
We're back at you on the Wednesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ in your company right up until 6 p.m. And like I said, it is Wednesday. It is the Wednesday edition. Like we do each and every Wednesday, we're going to open up the lines for you. You know how to chime in. And like I said, we got lots to talk about. MJ, before we jump into the conversation, just want to bring this to everybody's attention once again. And I speak for a couple of Texans who chimed in to remind me as well. Listen, the sidewalks that were dug up on West Bay Street from Saunders Beach entrance, the Fish Fry entrance, that are now left in a deplorable state. Can you all please come finish them off? I think that falls under Ministry of Works. Mr. Clay Sweeten, can you please send somebody to finish them off properly? Y'all didn't have to dig them up in the first place. But we ain't get into the particulars. You need to fix it now. There are huge cavernous craters, not only from the work on the sidewalk, and where drains used to be that are no longer there. Those souls have gotten bigger. They're not covered. And that's another accident waiting to happen. They need sidewalks. And I don't know if it's Marine Resources, Ministry of Health, that derelict boat, that fishing vessel that is stuck on the sandbar in the middle of the waterway, going into the back of Fish Fry and into the water, whoever owns that needs to move it. It's an eyesore.
Wait, I thought we were told that someone was working on moving that. Weren't we told that like weeks ago?
Well, I don't know if they was trying to use like the Jedi mind movement, and you know that didn't work because physically nothing's happened. It's just rotting even more and more and more.
As for the sidewalks, so many people, like we walk along that area and jog along that area, and I don't understand why they dug those sidewalks up if they had no intention of quickly, replacing them. Because you're right, to me, of course, I don't know, maybe it was compromised in some way, but it didn't look like those sidewalks needed to be touched at all, at least not as a major priority. But now they're all dug up, and there's no timeline being given as to when they're going to finish the repairs.
And, and the beat goes on. It is. And no urgency to finish anything. And, okay, like we got back in, let us catch ourselves, and then we get, no, I don't have no 5 years to slunk. It's progress, right?
Especially if you dig it up now. You can't just leave it if you dig it up.
To deal with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's not looking like progression, it's looking like regression. But anyway, let's jump into what we need to chop it up for. And listen, we want you to chime in, text in, call in, whatever's, got your gander up, whatever you want to chime in about, that's good too. But MJ and I got a couple of things, we definitely want to address. And once again, my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody involved in that holiday crash, that Independence Day crash.
Yeah.
Not only just the victims, their families, their friends, their fans, but the community. Because I hear that it's a very tight-knit community down there in Andros, and nobody's taking this easy at all. And MJ and I continue to think about you guys, pray about you guys, and for you guys, and to the band. Very talented group of young individuals. We lost a lot, and I totally understand how Andros feels. And at the end of the day, it cannot go for naught. We need to make improvements in that sector of the aviation industry in this country. Needs to be more regulations, more guidelines, more, protocols.
And more answers to the questions. I heard, at least we as a country heard from the Aviation Accident Investigation Authority, and obviously they're on top of it. They talk about a 30-day window to get some, but that the investigation could go on for as long as 12 months, which is understandable, right? I heard that we've sent some parts to the U.S. and they're going to be assisting us, which we're very thankful for. But some of the parts, regarding regulation and the safety of the industry in general, I still think that we need to hear from the Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas. Like, they need to come and speak. There are other questions surrounding that airline that they can answer that are independent of the investigation into the accident. We still need to hear about, whether or not there were, any safety recommendations made, whether they were implemented. So there's so many questions. What was the maintenance record like for this airline?
Yeah, exactly. The full records for the airline, the flight charts, the flight records,
the maintenance records, the ramp
manifestos, the passenger logs.
So many things, because you have to.
And actually, who owns the airline, the actual aircraft? Is that aircraft owned by the company, or is it being leased from another entity?
I did see an article in the Guardian that spoke to that. And then what happens when you do have a situation like that where, it may be leased from a third party? So there are a lot of questions that I think CAB should be answering the Bahamian public, but I don't know. It seems as if they think just the accident investigation side of it is what's relevant now. No, the other side is relevant, because we need to be, we need to feel comfortable that when we get on a Bahamian-owned airline, that we're safe. And I'm sorry to say, but there are a lot of Bahamians that just feel very wary right now, because is our authority doing its job? Are they implementing safety recommendations? How could the entire local industry? Are you doing that right now? Like, what is happening? So while we let Ministry of Transport handle the investigation, which I think is fine, I think also the government needs to step up now and reassure the public that you guys are doing your job, that oversight and any adjustments that need to be made are being made expeditiously, and that, Bahamians can feel comfortable getting on these flights, particularly these small planes.
And like I said, there needs to be a lot more protocols in that area, as well as the charter section as well. But that's another story for another day. What else we want to? We got Jeff on the line. Let's jump in real quick. Talking Heads.
Hey, Naughty. Hey, I'm Jake. Good afternoon.
Hey, Jeff.
What's going on, Jeff?
Yeah, it's a tragedy, especially when it comes down to persons losing their lives. And, being a person that is very familiar with the aviation industry, being a private pilot myself, listen, the FAA has the comprehensive laws that governs the FAA and all of the stringent rules that has to be followed, it's already there in print. Every private pilot has to go through the FAR's Part 61 and 91. And, I think basically from my vantage point, it seems to be, it's not loopholes, but the enforcement of these laws and these rules, I saw our general aviation community. you find that the larger airlines, they have to go through a stringent exercise when it comes down to, being compliant to a lot of the things that is stressed and impressed in these FAR rules. And for some of the other pilots out there who may be taking some of these things for granted, or not saying in this particular case that has happened, because we're still waiting for the end result of this investigation. But the shortcut some of the rules and not take some of the rules as seriously as some people would take. I mean, you could actually risk lives or end your life in a very short period of time, even if you miss a step. That potential misstep could turn on to so many other things. So it's basically, I would like to hear more about what is the presence on the ground at the airport as it refers to the agency itself. Are there enough inspectors on the ground, especially over at JC, General Aviation Center, where a lot of these smaller aircrafts operate out of? Is that presence really stringent there? And if the eyes are on the ground really watching and doing things that is in the Part 61 and 91 regulations that the FAA has in its mandate, I mean, I could see a lot of this stuff. I won't say that an accident cannot happen, but the frequency of the accidents and the lives that's taken, that is the interesting point that a lot of persons are really concerned about. What really interested me, and I'll close on this point, where the speculation of somebody being on board that was not even accounted on the manifest, and that is a breach of the regulation, because every person flying on board an aircraft should be accounted for in the same instant that what has happened, because all souls and their names and contacts is on that manifest. So if anything happens, then that person can be accounted for, that person was on board that aircraft. So it's a whole lot of things going on, and I'm just patiently waiting to see what's going to come out of this. My last point here, while it's fresh on my mind, it's going to be quite interesting to see if the FAA will now, in some way, some shape or form, allow the smaller aircrafts to carry black boxes. Because a lot of these accidents now are with the smaller aircraft, and it'd be kind of interesting to see what kind of corrections the pilot may have done. What is the flight voice recorder would have to say, whatever. Perhaps this is something that we could recommend, and see if the FAA would consider, yes, installing a smaller black box into these smaller aircraft so we could know what transpired and why the accident happened the way how it did. Thanks for taking my call. I'll continue to listen.
All right, Jeff. Good stuff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, but MJ, I mean, it can't be, rules for some and no rules for the others, especially when it comes to that kind of transportation, and being a pilot and flying and who.
Our friends from Andres are taking this and we expect that most Androsians are taking this really hard. Like, this was so devastating, so devastating for not just for Andres, but the entire country. So many talented young Bahamians, my heart still breaks for that community.
Let me get a couple of these texts in real quick. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Who's inspecting the many trees being shipped into Exuma for plant diseases, possible poison snakes, and spiders?
Oh. Trees being shipped. Exuma, tell us more, because I didn't, what's happening?
Where are they being shipped and who getting them? And
what's happening? Send us more details.
Naughty, don't forget that them sidewalks was dug up long before election, man. Yeah, I know, but I mean,
they were.
But it was.
But I'll be real. I honestly thought they digging up these sidewalks to make it look good for elections, and so they'll dig them up, and then all of a sudden, parts of it got replaced, and then there's a whole swath of area that's just dug up rubble.
With craters and drains that aren't repaired, and the drains are sticking up, and the holes there. It's an accident waiting to happen.
Right, and so how much longer must that stay? Election was about 2 months ago, so I mean, how much longer?
And that's Ministry of Works, if I'm not mistaken. So, not trying to pick on you, Clay, but hurry up, fix the thing, man.
Yeah, that's like one big pothole for the sidewalk. So yeah, fix it.
Naughty and MJ, I never flying on Flamingo Air again. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Let's remember the employees of Flamingo Airlines who are probably unemployed and grieving. Yes, and we thoughts and prayers as well, too.
Thinking about them as well. Yeah.
Naughty and MJ, one of my schoolmates is a musician. He decided not to go. Lucky guy, but very distraught. I totally understand it. I totally get that. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. Pia Global Road need to address our cabinet colleague, Joe Beth, and Bahamas Grid about these outages instead of slamming her constituents' progress.
You didn't see? Wait, did you? I did see that. I did see that statement from Minister Glover Roll about her making inquiries of the top brass over there at the corporation, BPL, and I think that honestly she was earnestly trying to get to the bottom of it, because she said in the statement, her constituents are constantly calling her office. The power is off. Now there is something in the politics of why the route to get a solution was to go directly to the chairwoman over there at BPL, as opposed to asking her cabinet colleague. They had cabinet yesterday, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to asking her colleague, hey, what's going on? My constituents are saying they've been without, but we've all been with happening. And I think there is something to be said about diminished trust, right? Because the minister has spoken so glowingly before we saw the real problem start this summer, right? We were told things are 90% done. They're almost complete. It's going to be great. All of a sudden, we see these problems. We hear about faults in lines. We hear about lightning strikes. And now it becomes, okay, well, growing pains. And then it becomes, okay, next month. What does next month mean? Is it August 1st? August 31st? Like, what does next month mean? It just seems like a vague statement thrown out there by the minister. And honestly, it's really hard to believe what she's saying in terms of when we can expect reliable electricity. So in a way, I don't blame, an MP like Ms. Glover Roll for trying to go directly to the source, which is BPL, and get some answers for her constituents. Should she have asked her cabinet colleague? Maybe, but maybe, like many of us, she figures it's now best to get away from all of the spin.
Hold on,
and get the real answer from the real corporation.
Maybe she's reached out to her colleague's sidebar on numerous occasions about this.
Maybe she has.
To no avail.
She's hearing what we're hearing. So I don't blame her. As a matter of fact, I think it took a little bit of guts to even make that public, because this is one thing that kind of bothers me. We have a party, right? But we also have our government. And I think that MPs, once elected, should put the needs of the country above the needs of the party. So the party may say, hey, don't air that out. That looks crazy. You can make the minister look bad. But then if you're for country first and you're for your constituents, then you are like that, listen, I hear you. I understand your frustration here. So I actually thought that took a little bit of courage for her to do, and we're all the better for it, because a lot of times things are happening, and I'm asking myself, where's my MP? How come he isn't saying? Where's the next one from this ministry? How come they're quiet? It's like this hush, hush, let's not make each other look bad kind of atmosphere that we sense. So it's good to see maybe one or two willing to speak up and say, you know what, this is crazy, and I need to figure out why it's so bad. And yeah, my colleague said, yeah, X, Y, Z. But I'm going to go a different route, because I need to be accountable to my constituents and not just be worried about being accountable to my colleague. Now, the cabinet part of it makes it interesting, you know what I mean? Collective responsibility and all of that. But yeah, I don't blame her for doing it. I don't blame her at all. I actually thought it took some guts to do it.
I agree with all of your comments right there, and I do agree it took a lot of guts to do it. And maybe, I personally believe, look, maybe I done hit you upside shot several times to no avail. Well, let me throw one across your bow, because I'm tired of my constituents suffering, and I suffering along with my constituents. You need to do something. So I get it.
Yeah.
But it also been behind the spin. And then there's been long rumors of people jostling for position in the PLP from last go round. Because, yeah, maybe this obviously, if he's a man of his word, Mr. Davis will look to pass leadership on to a younger leader. We see one in our very midst in the West, obviously, doing his thing. We're trying to fast track his way to the top. So are these some young cabinet ministers now jostling for position and now coming out and saying, look, let me show that I got some leadership moxie and material too?
Yeah, I
Shaping
mean,
up
if you're doing your
to be
job,
our very own Game of Thrones from our parliament.
if you're doing your job, what you got to worry about, right? You don't have to worry. Just do your job.
But at the end of the day, look at it for what it is. I mean, I'm hoping and I'm praying that this administration doesn't get caught up in different fiefdoms jostling for position and leadership in the future, that they lose focus on running the country. And they're not doing a great job of that in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, we just had an election. I do not think, well, let me not say, but running for prime minister at 79, 80 to be going into another 5-year term, honestly, I don't, I mean, they could try it, but I
You
think,
better enjoy
I think
Governor General and frequent flyers anywhere you want to go in the world and go smile.
I think, Mr. Davis would be good to try succession planning now. Maybe he's already started it. He could run again, of course, if he wants to. But personally, me, like I said, especially before the election, when people made age like a thing, and I said, and I still believe that 70s to me is workable. But now when we start to get to the 80s, nope, that's a hard line for me. I do think you should retire and you should pass it on to the next generation. At that point, you've given 30, almost 40 years of your life to public service. Great stuff there.
Which we thank you for.
But fresh leadership definitely is in order come the next election in terms of the PLP, because Mr. Davis is, an older leader. But should that be a distraction this year and next year? No. Too much work to be done in the country to be jostling now. Just do your job, do it well, and then I'm pretty sure that leading into the next election, we'll see a lot of, like you say, jostling for position. But yeah, you can't just be talking and not bring in results and not expect to get called out on it. So
let's get to the phone lines.
It is what it is.
Yeah, let's go to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Good evening. To my number one team. I heard the conversation on the previous segment of Guardian Radio, but I stick to my Naughty and MJ. So
thank you very much.
I said, let me hear my clearer voices speak to the matter. So,
thank you.
I love the broad way you're looking at it all. My first thought was the substantive minister for an MP, also a minister. What BPL or having BPL answering to her, how would that change the dial? Right?
Yeah.
But I love the many spins or the many way you look at it. And in terms of and all of that, which is something for the future, if the current prime minister was to go again, I don't think he plans to go again, but if he was to go again, I don't think it will be for a full term and maybe to win and then pass down to someone else. But I believe someone else should go on their own merit rather than have one person win it and pass on to them. So
that's true. Yeah.
Right. So that's it. However, there was a question I want to ask about the LMG situation.
Okay.
On the LMG situation, I heard that we can expect in the first quarter of next year. We can expect something also in the third quarter of next year. And then there was a thought of the icing on the cake. I don't know if you heard of the timeline for that. The final thing. How long that's the final stage. How long that final stage will come in. And then I want to correct something that I heard. Well, correct in the sense, I understand it's saying more reliable. I think it was already correct in the news, because we can't say more reliable when it's not reliable.
Right. Right. Yeah, just stick more in front of it and it's not even the thing yet.
Right. So, but last but not least, I did a lot of walking last night. I walk, I cycle, I drive. And I see a lot of roads without lights and without pavement.
Thank you, thank you, caller.
So I think it was said that somebody will make a lot of money from this new LMG situation. I'm hoping that they can be required or asked to add to the infrastructure of the country as a whole, and seeing that every street has lights on the poles and also the pavement on both sides of the road.
Yeah. Thank you so much, caller. And thanks for reminding us about those lights. Because, Naughty, you were talking about that the other day, right?
And I was just going to bring it back up. In that Saunders Beach area, we were talking about the sidewalk.
So dark.
Saunders Beach is deplorable. It still looks horrible. That needs to be taken care of. The verges are horrible. The sand is way overridden. Somebody needs to go and address that and put that how it was meant to be. Second of all, you need to address the swings and the parks out there. Portion of it that it's lacking out there as well too. And none of the streetlights work from that whole Sylvia along Go Slow Bend going out toward the hotels. They're not working, and maybe 3 or 4 are flickering. And if you have any kind of conditions that could cause you to have a seizure, that's not cool either.
Yeah, those lights, we've been talking about them for a long time, along Go Slow Bend and the turn right after that. It is very dark, and I consider those to be like dangerous turns. So I don't know why, BPL, why those lights are off, but please see if you can do something to get those lights on, because they've been off for a while now. We've mentioned this before. I know when we talked about Myla Butler Highway, you guys mobilized pretty quickly, and you got some of that resolved. But the lights right there around in the west, along that whole West Bay Street, close to the Cable Beach, yeah, y'all need to fix those. It is way too dark at night, way too dark.
Okay, hey, let me get a couple of these texts, and I think I got a soccer update, MJ, for you. I'm going to check it now. I think England, let me look real quick, but apparently it was nothing at the half, and they were up 1-0. They allowed Argentina to tie it, and now in the 90th minute, Argentina scored.
The refs and Messi strike again. Well, let me don't say that. Boy. Okay, we'll see.
What?
Nothing.
No, what was that I heard the other day on those clips I watched? Now, if you get a chance to watch Jamonkey clips on Reels, he's absolutely hilarious. But what does FIFA stand for? Federation International Football of Argentina.
Correct. That's why Greg beat them in the finals.
Let me get a couple of more of these texts in. Could they please note on the road leading to school is dug up the week before elections, and it's still dug up now, and it's a big mess in the area. And if someone wasn't paid, that's why those sidewalks are not complete.
Like, I'm trying to figure it out now.
If Bahamas Grid's own transmission and distribution, why aren't they taking ownership of these outages since generations? Not the issue. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. That's true, Fantan Moja passed away. Yes, he did. We mentioned it earlier. Wow, we had a lot of lost lives in June, early July. 6 in the car accident, 10 in the plane crash. Muffroll and now Fantan Moja. Wow. Yeah, we lost a lot in these last couple of weeks, Dexter. I tell you not a word of lie. But I'm looking up, Mr. Producer says it's time to get to the break. So with that being said, we will get to the break, and in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll pick it up on the flip side, because me and MJ, well, we still have more to discuss. I'm going to try to get some sports in there for you as well, too. All right? You're listening to the Wednesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ, which continues right after this.
Watch out, render your heart and not your garment. But your days may be sufficient. Right now, man, excitement. And time may come up your entertainment. Then tell the whole of them will be the 10 commandments.
Hungry for some serious beef? Then get ready, because Burger King Nassau is bringing back the double quarter-pound king. That's a full half-pound of flame grilled beef, topped with melty cheese, tangy mustard, crunchy pickle, and fresh onions. Served on a toasted sesame seed bun, classic style. Big flavor, big protein, big satisfaction. Get your double quarter-pound king meal with medium fries and a drink for only $10.35. More food, less money. Only at Burger King Nassau.
John Shoes and Accessories is your one-stop shop for all your footwear needs. You will find what you're looking for among the growing collection of classic and trendy styles with new arrivals every week. John's covers the whole family and has great prices, helpful and friendly customer service. Your experience shopping with us will be time well spent. Shop with us online at www.johnshoes.com. John's also now carries small home appliances, so come on into John's, located on Rosetta Street in Palmdale and Carmichael Road West. John's, we put fashion at your feet.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, don't play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this easy train at Percy's Island Game.
Refined style with elegant taste. Then fine threads, want those slacks hemmed or just taking the waist. Then fine threads is your place. If you wanna look suave and debonair everywhere you go, like you're supposed to be in a video. Wanna step out and look great? Then fine threads is your place. Refined style with elegant taste. Then fine threads is your place. Is your place. Is your place.
Calling all football fans, there's only one place to catch the FIFA World Cup final. Join Nassau Cruise Port and Diageo on Sunday, July 19th at the Amphitheater at Nassau Cruise Port. Gates open at 1 p.m. with kickoff at 3 p.m. Music by DJ Kenny, DJ Tank. Visit NassauCruiseport.com for pricing and more information. Don't miss the FIFA World Cup final watch party at Nassau Cruise Port, July 19th. Gates open at 1 p.m.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Yeah, for everybody grinding. Late nights, no sleep. Real pain, real prayer. Hear me prayer, me dep on the road. Tryna make a way, me a carry every load.
Talking Heads with Naughty and MJ is brought to you by Burger King, Fine Threads, John's Department Store, KFC, Muffler World, Naughty Johnny's, Percy's Island Games, Prince Masters, and Tropical Gyros.
Guide me steps while me chase my goals. Wake up stress, bills pa my phone. Mama need help me standing alone. Friends switch up me walk alone, but me keep that fire deep in my soul. Them no say nights me could eat. All the tears me hiding at the beat. When life get rough, I'ma feel weak. Me pray to Jah, please guide my feet. Me been down, me been low. Still got faith, me nah let go. Even when the road get cool, me trust your timing, Jah in control. Jah, hear me prayer, me dep on the road. Tryna make a way, me a carry heavy load. Days get dark, but me still hold on. If me fall tonight, Jah make me stronger. Bless me hustle.
You got it locked and loaded to the Wednesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ and your company right up until 6 p.m. And big up Mr. Producer right there, boy. Hey, boy. I alluded to John Monkey and boom. Little youth right there, boy. And like I said, we're into the 5 o'clock hour. 5:06 p.m. is the time. MJ, still got the phone lines open. Still got the text lines open. I'm going to jump to the text lines. But we still got lots to talk about.
Yeah, and I just wanted to say, because the caller did ask about LNG, and yes, it's supposed to be rolled out in phases. Phase 1, they say, starts in Q1 of 2027. That's when we should, get the first gas introduced to the local grid. Phase 2 is in Q4 of 2027. And that's when the infrastructure, they say, will expand to the Blue Hills Power Station. And then phase 3 will come after 2027. And that's supposed to be the final stage. So, yeah, we got to wait and see. We need reliability. We need affordability. And, right now we just don't have either, if we're being honest with ourselves. BPL did respond to Minister Glover Roll's letter. And, I mean, this is crazy. So they say that, first of all, they, of course, apologize for the discomfort and inconvenience, but we don't want apologies anymore. We just want you guys to get it right, especially in this very, very hot summer. But they're saying that the interruption for Golden Gate started around 11 p.m. on Sunday, July 12th. And after the did all of their work. Power was restored to the affected consumers around 6:30 a.m. this morning. So that's 2 full days, 2.5 days, basically.
And you don't want people to make noise?
Your stuff could last that long. You could manage that long without electricity. That is crazy. If I were an MP, I definitely would be, demanding answers as well, because that is a very long time to be without power.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a long time. Like,
That's
there's
a
no
long time. You don't want people to say nothing. Don't have that attitude like, only 2 days. No. Because we were promised none of this was going to happen.
Yeah, but we were also told, I think it was Crazy Thompson that said it's going to be a hot summer, and that is definitely what it is, a very hot summer.
So we got to keep an eye on how this goes, too, because, like I said, if it's going to be a hot summer, and globally it's going to be a hot summer, they can try to kill you for running air conditioning.
Right.
You better don't even say Lasco. You better go buy one of them big old school Thatch palm fan and just sit there and fan yourself in the evening time in the cool.
Yeah, just put the AC on for a couple of hours in the evening, let the house cool out, and then rely on those fans to do the work to keep you comfortable. Gets the fan in, because it is too expensive to run AC too long for the average Bahamian.
Let me check the text lines real quick. Naughty and MJ went to Goodman's Bay Beach Sunday. The western side is being taken over in umbrellas. The eastern side had 3 separate church services, and the part to walk or jog on the beach is completely covered with sand. So who is responsible for Goodman's Bay and what goes on out there?
As for the vendors and so forth, I'm not sure who's responsible for that.
A gray area there.
Didn't the chairman of the authority recently say that they're working on Goodman's Bay, though? Isn't that the area that he started? Which I gotta say, right? When Mr. Strawn, Jamal Strawn, got this position and initially spoke about it, and he spoke about transparency and accountability and all that stuff, and things are going to be different. It was like, okay, let's give him a chance. Then I heard him the other day trying to double down on this fallacious, idea that, everything went well and none of the money, was poorly spent during the last administration, which, come on, $147 million, and we have a lot of still raggedy beaches, raggedy parks, and you telling me that the money was spent properly? Like, are we crazy? Do we look crazy to you? We know that money was not spent as efficiently as it could have been spent, and we are hoping that things will be different, but with a mindset like that, I don't know. I don't know if we can expect any better. Honestly, I don't. But I know that they did start on Goodman's Bay. That was one of the parks that was highlighted by the Member of Parliament for Killarney, Michael Barnett Ellis, who I think spoke extensively about what's happening on that Goodman's Bay Beach. How
they're still parking in the middle of the grass area,
parking on the grass, it's just trash, all kinds of. It doesn't look as good as it could look, right? And I think they started that. So I'm going to give them a couple more weeks. I don't know if they're complete yet. Give them a couple more weeks, and I'm going to go walk down, what the end result looks like. Because you can't be spending up all this side. The money wasn't misspent, even though we see all kind of breakdown parks and everything that's looking not as good as it could, considering the amount of money that taxpayers are spending.
A lot of people have questions in regards to that Goodman's Bay, so we got to keep an eye on that as well, and, see how that progresses. Let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads.
Yes, good afternoon to you, MJ, and to you, Naughty. If you're in a rush, I can catch you another day. I need to talk.
Hey, C. Allen. Hey, C. Allen. What's up?
Yeah. I came in at the end of your last hour, but you talk about BPL. I want for us to understand the nation where we are with DPL. I understand with the LNG bringing on 170 or almost 200 megawatts of additional power combined to what we are. They didn't say whether it was replacement or additional. If you look at BPL and the way the economies around the world is growing and its dependency on the various different digitization that's happening, we could expect a 5 times to a 10 times demand over the next 5 to 10 years. The problem is that when we begin to look at governance in the Bahamas, and I want you to look at our roads, our parks, our government buildings, our school and everything. Those are tens of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure you're trying to manage. Now, I want you to imagine that you're trying to build hundreds of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure. Those are things you can touch and see. And so BPL is the gateway to hundreds of millions of dollars worth of infrastructure that has to be built on New Providence, 70-something% on New Providence, and the other 30% outside of New Providence. If we have leadership that demonstrate that they can't handle or explain to us things that are in existence, what is, where we are, what is cost, where we need to be, then we must accept that the intangible for the tens of hundreds of millions will be even more catastrophic. When you talk about you want to design an economy, all of us have to participate. BPL has not shown us any energy reduction strategy. BPL has not shown us any gap analysis to tell us where we are and a timeline of where we need to be in 1, 3, 5, and 10 years. They have not given us any cost analysis. This is not...
We still got C. Allen, or did we lose him? All right, if you drop C. Allen, hit us back. Let's get to the other one.
Hello, good day, Madam MJ.
No, madam here, brother.
How are you all? Hello.
What's going on, Dennis?
I'm calling because everybody complaining about the heat and high cost of energy and not having to run your air conditioner. I want to share this trick. If you lay down on the bed, on your fan, open all the windows, but lay out your towels, lay on them, put one of them over your pillow, and with your fan, you will be very, very cool with the fan blowing on you. Instead of laying on those sheets, you know, Naughty, y'all like them silk sheets with a stick to your skin, right?
I like the cotton ones better, but you know, I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, but you lay them lay them drying off towels, lay on that, and put one over your pillow, then with your fan blowing. And I want anyone to call tomorrow and tell me if you don't be very cool with the fan instead of laying on the sheets.
All right. I appreciate your life hack right there, Dennis. Thank you very much. I'll try that. I'm going to test it tonight.
Well, thank you.
In your honor. You too. All right, bro. Be safe. Dennis the Menace. MJ, you know what? Can we pivot, or you still got more on? Oh, I think we lost MJ. All right. So, you might be on mute.
I'm here. I am here.
Now you are.
Yeah, sorry.
You have anything else we want to touch on BPL, or we can pivot because...
We just waiting and watching with BPL. Waiting and watching.
Waiting and watching.
Waiting and watching.
I don't know what's going on, man. But I think we got C. Allen back, so let's
Let me finish over with BPL. Tell Dennis to turn the fan on, you have to have electricity.
Oh. He might have a solar fan. He might have a solar fan. He might. It sounds like a good idea. I'm going to try that tonight, C. Allen.
Okay.
I'm going to try that.
Here's the problem we have. There's nothing more important in this country right now than BPL. I would challenge anyone, any economist, anyone who knows what BPL is and the homes, lives, and everything else of that sort. And the point is that BPL has not given us a blueprint for where we are, where we need to be, the gap analysis, the cost analysis, the time analysis, basically to display totally what it is that it has to be done. The most important thing is, yes, you bring in these LNG online, which is the digital generation. As I say, you need 5 to 10 times the capacity if our economy is to grow. Because what also happens is that we have to have a cost reduction because it's impossible for us to grow, continue paying about 25 cents a kilowatt for hours to be competitive in any type of nature. So this is why it's most important for this government or even anyone government in waiting to move the conversation towards exactly what it is. We are in crisis in this economy in regards to BPL. And every single day, we should wake up every morning demanding the total disclosure of where BPL is. We are seeing the catastrophic failure of the systems of BPL without the even build out of any new system. And so we're talking about a $3 to $5 billion worth of liabilities. And so we need to change, these other things, yes, they're important in sorrow. But the sorrow we're going to have is the impact on our lives, on the economy, on the hospitals, on our schools, and everything else. This is a crisis, and we all need to give it our full attention. Thank you.
Thank you, C. Allen. Thanks. Yeah. Well, I think we're paying attention for sure because it's hot. And BPL is not reliable right now. And it's not affordable right now. So we're paying attention. So go ahead, Naughty. Sorry. I think you're muted. Naughty, I think you're muted.
Oh, there we go. Talking heads, let's get back to the phone lines. Talking heads.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Hey, MJ, what's going on?
Hey, how are you?
How can the most important institution in the Bahamas right now is unreliable and unaffordable, and government seems to be in no rush to fix it? Just press conference, just more rhetoric, same old rhetoric every day.
Yeah.
BPS are focal and the government tooth nail on that something magnificent happened by signing this LNG deal. Like it's going to drastically change or make an impact on what we're going through in the Bahamas right now. Remember at one point gasoline, diesel, and fuel oil was cheap?
Yeah.
Look at the price of it now, eh?
Yeah.
So what
That's
happens
the thing
when
I
the
worry
demand,
about too.
What happens when the demand for LNG increase?
I'm worried about it as well because I'd be like, we're hoping LNG brings these prices down, right? That's the hope.
It will bring it down, but it's only a temporary fix. Again, what happens when the demand increase? Because don't think for 1 minute that other countries ain't doing the same thing we're doing, looking for cheaper solutions, temporary fixes. So other countries also are looking at LNG, and not other countries, other major companies are also using LNG. So that tells you the demand for LNG is increasing. Look at the cruise ship industry. Look at the shipping industry. All of these ships, all of these things are now moving towards LNG for a cheaper source of fuel. So again, what happens now when the demand increase? We're gonna be right back where we are right now, the high cost of energy. And the reason why we're gonna be right back is we own no part of the supply chain. We have no control over the supply chain. We at the end of the spectrum. We just consumers in this whole thing. So we will always be at the forces of the market. We will always be at the will of the market because we own no part of the supply chain. And this LNG deal. This LNG deal is only a temporary fix. It will bring some relief, but for how long?
Yeah, I mean, we'll always be susceptible to like geopolitical shocks that could send prices, higher. That's for sure.
My question to this government is, where is the solutions? We don't need band-aid patches. Where are the solutions? Where are the long-term solutions? Because energy affects the cost of everything we do. Energy affects what we spend on power. Energy affects what we spend in the food store, what we spend at the gas station. Everything relies on the cost of energy.
Well, here's one metric for sure. You remember with the new energy era, they promised us that 30% of our electricity is supposed to come from renewables by 2030. Like those are hard numbers. We'll see.
Well, they made us that promise, but what have governments? And I can put this on government because government have to take the lead on this. What kind of example has government set in this whole thing? Government is extremely wasteful when it comes to consuming energy. Extremely wasteful. They waste energy. You could ride around any government building, meet the air conditioners running all night, meet the building light up, any government building. You'll see government with red government cars with red plates. The cars sit now with air conditioning running for an amount of time, just wasting energy. wasting gas, wasting power. And we have to pay for this. So government need to be mindful of the way they consume energy, the way they use it. Set the example. Make your buildings more efficient.
Set the example.
Make your buildings more efficient. Make your vehicles efficient. You know what I mean? Stop buying these big V8 cars. Not a big old BMW the Prime Minister has bought. You know.
That ain't a hybrid? That ain't electric?
I
thought that's electric. I don't know.
Boy, listen, that should be remote control. All the money you spend on that.
Oh,
anyway,
boy.
I just thought I should rub that in. Government just need to be mindful on the way they consume energy. Set the example. Set the pace. Refit your buildings. You know what I mean? Rethink the way you purchase cars.
Agreed. I agree with all of that. Thank you so much, caller. I do agree.
All valid points. All valid points. Got a couple of texts. Let me get to them. And then we could... I got a couple other things we need to address. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. With all the accidents, why are the street lights not working on Tanique Darling Highway, the sports center area, and the airport road? Please fix ASAP. No contribution to Bahamas Grid Company, so it's no longer their official or technical responsibility. That's the joy and benefit, if you call it that, of privatization. How you like me now?
Well, we still have a 40% stake in Bahamas Grid Company, right? So that's still, I mean, the Bahamian people do. So that's still a concern for us as well, you know what I mean? And the minister still has carriage over all of that, so she should be able to answer those questions, you know? Just as she oversees BPL ultimately, Bahamas Grid Company, same thing.
Question needs to be answered then, and it can't be this, you know, ostrich scenario, head in the sand, blah, 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 blah. 140 million on beaches and parks, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, 147 million. We had to update because the Guardian updated the figures after elections. So it's not 141, it's 147.
Where's the 5 years of progress with BPL for us to have this experience 2 months after the election? It doesn't make logical sense. Naughty and MJ, I've listened to talk shows since Piceville introduced us to this method of venting our frustrations. Do you have any way of presenting these situations to the relative authorities so that some solutions could appear to be dealt with? Would you allow us to send our peeves to you and they can be forwarded? Just a suggestion. Yeah, let's see if management will get us NASCAR.com, and you can send your emails right there, and we'll get them to where they need to be. Or we can point you in the right direction.
That's a good idea. That is a good idea.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. C. Alan Johnson may be F&M, but with all of his knowledge, he should be given a consultant job because he's very knowledgeable. I maintain that the real solution is getting 40 to 50% of consumers off reliance on the electrical grid through government policy that reduce the cost of solar installation to $5,000 or so. Will it mean less revenue to BEC or BPL? Yes. So stop the wasteful hiring and spending. Solar in the hands of Focal is designed to eliminate solar access to Bahamians and keep continued revenue flowing 100% in that direction. But I always tell you, bunkers are never done in this country. Let's go to the phone lines. We got 52 on the phone lines. Talking heads.
Yeah, blessed Naughty, blessed MJ.
Hey, 52.
What's going on, 52?
Yeah, Naughty, you all had me on the last week broadcast with my brethren, Muff, you know.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So, you know, it's rough. It's rough. But I just wanted to touch something that was very important as it relates to lives, etc. And so my condolences goes out to all of the family members. But basically, the Oliver guy, you know, I kind of do extra for him. I felt the pain when he dropped his son to the airport. You know, understand? My daughter works on a plane, so I was like, and she's from Andrew, so I was kind of like in a little thing there for a while there. But and the lady that lost the 3 sons, right? These are the people that I and obviously the last set of people were those young, beautiful ladies and stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But I was the lady with the 3 sons, you know. I guess they don't call it talks, but in incidents like that is really painful, you know. But as it relates to the lighting, right? I just wanted to highlight this because this happened just east of the Guardian on Poinciana on the northern gate by University of Bahamas, right? Mm-hmm. That area is very dark, and that was frightening. I almost knocked on him last night. It's a good thing I saw the reflectors on his bike and something he was wearing, but it, you know, just... He was heading across the road from the liquor store, the Commonwealth Bank area. But he ran across the road. But what I'm saying is that area is extra dark. I don't know why we're in so much darkness, but darkness seems to cover the Bahamas on the earth. That's just how I see is darkness. I don't know why they like darkness so much, but you could ride around and see. the lighting is very poor. And I could see good for my age, so I know a lot of people can be getting it. And then people, pedestrians must be learned. I don't know if they're foreigners or what, but they seem to think that they have the right of way over a car. They don't understand how to cross the roads anymore. It's frightening, especially the migrants. Like, I don't know where they come from. They believe like you just walk into the road without basically looking at the person, or it's like they I don't know what's going on. With you guys, I know you've seen like these problems, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's frightening.
Yeah.
I almost knocked the guy. Give thanks.
Thanks, 52. Yeah, definitely need to do something with the lights, for sure. And people need to have common sense when crossing the road. You just don't just jump out into the road, because you got to give drivers time to even react. So, yeah,
Yeah,
a
but
lot of
people do
work.
that because they turn on bad, and I could jump on and y'all follow me, and that no, man. Crosswalk there, and then
That's a dangerous game they play in.
very dangerous. Breaking news today earlier. We had another police have responded to an apparent attempted suicide incident involving a female on the Paradise Island Bridge. The female was transported to hospital for medical treatment. No further details have been released. But isn't this like the second incident in a couple of weeks on that bridge? And
I was
we have
going
to
to
look
say,
and we have to look at mental health in this country. 'Cause
suicide
suicide is way up.
have gone up for sure. Like, just anecdotally, I feel like, it'll be good to check, right? But I feel like we're hearing more about these attempts and unfortunate successes in suicide the last. And it's not like it's surprising in a sense, in that we knew coming out of the pandemic that mental health was an area that we really need to focus on, because that whole time was very traumatic. And we knew that Bahamians would need, more resources, more help. I don't know if we've seen enough work done in that area. I really wish we could hear more from the experts in that area. I really wish we could hear more from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. I've said it before, when they added the wellness to their name, I took that as a signal that they were going to be super proactive in, just helping more Bahamians. But so far, we can't get the hospital in decent condition, any of them, here in the capital or in our family island. So we still got a lot of work just with the basic infrastructure. We have so much work to do in terms of the nurses and the doctors and proper compensation. We have so much work to do with NHI, like so much technical work to do, that I'm not seeing the campaigns that I would like to see around wellness and like mental health wellness. And I feel like this is a missed opportunity. Of course, I'm hoping for the best for that young lady who was on the bridge today. And I think it was another young lady a couple of weeks ago. My
Was it a
heart
young
goes-
man?
Or perhaps it was a young man, but my heart goes them. And to consider that people that are so young have gotten to the point where, this is a legitimate consideration that they end their lives. It
Yeah.
is very sad.
That's the scary part of it.
We have to come together as a community and do all that we can to, just to reach out to our neighbors, make sure, that they're okay, do our part. And then we as a country need to make sure that they have the resources, they feel like they can reach out for help whenever they find themselves with any kind of suicidal ideation.
Yeah, because a lot of people, the biggest thing is asking for the help. They want to, but they have issues asking for help.
Yeah, I would imagine when they get to that point, they may feel like it's useless to even try. But I don't want them to have that mindset, because I know that, for extended periods of time or even in a moment, it can feel helpless and hopeless. But I promise you, as long as there's life, there is hope. And so we need to now offer them the help, so less people think that the only way out is through suicide.
Yeah, we have to get to another place. And look, if you see a member of your peer group that seems like they're going through something or facing depression, talk to them. And point them in the right direction if necessary. Or maybe go and talk to a relative and say, listen, Joe don't look like he's doing too good. He's doing the X, Y, and Z at work. Maybe you should have him checked out, or maybe, something going on with him. Talk to him.
And and this way I think some of the professionals come in, because I did see a commercial a couple of years back. It was two guys, one of them, and they kept going to this ball game, and the one that you thought might have been the suicidal one was not the one. It was the other one who looked happy and exuberant and like just full of life all the time. That was the one that ended up ending his life in that commercial. And I don't even know exactly what it is you're looking for. So more of the professionals, if you want to come and speak on it, Talking Heads is always a platform. If you see what's happening in the nation and you feel like, hey, you know what, I think we need to make the community aware of these things to look for. This is where you can get help, that kind of stuff. I want the professionals in the community. I want the Ministry of Health. I want them to be more active in getting the message out there that, there are other options and that suicide is not the only option.
And, Dak Prescott has a foundation in Dallas because he lost one of his brothers to suicide. And it's called It's Okay to Not Be Okay.
Yeah.
And it said that meaning it's okay to tell someone you're not okay. There's so many stigmas related to people saying, well, I'm not okay, that they don't speak up and they don't talk.
I know they
don't look for help. And we just have to let Bahamians know it's okay to not be okay. You can tell someone you're not okay.
And see, this is why I don't even mind her role, even though people are giving her, I guess PLP is giving her flack about speaking out about BPL online. I don't mind when other leaders, other ministers talk about it. I remember before he was put at immigration, I think Darren Pistock was one of the persons who had, he talked about suicide frequently enough and brought awareness to it. I know he's over in immigration now, but besides, Dr. Darville and whatever he has going on over there at the Ministry of Health, I would hope that others, and not just in government, just everybody, community leaders, other political leaders, I just hope that they would, just use whatever platforms they have to continue to raise awareness around this issue. Because if we keep going, it's going to get a whole lot worse before it gets better. Yeah.
Another headline that grasped me, MJ, and both of us when we saw it, and I still can't believe that this is where we're at in 2026. Teacher dies after being stabbed in the neck during attack. A 61-year-old primary school teacher died in hospital on Monday, more than a month after she was reportedly stabbed by her attackers. Jillian Pinder, a 61-year-old mother and wife, had been in critical condition since June 4th, the day she was attacked.
My condolences go out to her family, her immediate family, of course, her extended family, her school family, her church family, her community family. This was someone who was very, very well respected and well regarded as an educator
in the community.
And we've lost Mrs. Pinder, and this is so sad. But it really makes me wonder what kind of animals we have running around on the loose out there that would stab a woman, in her neck. It is absolutely atrocious. It's egregious. And I think more needs to be said and done when these kinds of incidences take place, right? Because I always see something really going wrong with us as a people. Something is really going wrong where we think a solution is to just attack. And from the reporting around it, she wasn't even their target. But you stab her? Really? Something is very, very wrong in this country. And I think it's time for us to stand up and be more outspoken about how angry we are when we hear about it. See, when I read the story the first time, I was very angry to know that we have animals out there.
We had a bunch of crash outs running around,
pretending to be human, but doing stuff that, just the worst of the worst would do.
And I hate to say it, there's a segment of our society, because we are in each segment we have issues, but there's a segment of our society, a younger segment of our society that has zero conflict resolution. And when I tell you crash out and freaking themselves out around it, the way they think and approach things is totally gobsmacking to me, the way they look at things.
Yeah, it's just like no sense. You know what I mean? No sense whatsoever, no restraint. Forget about conflict resolution. That ain't even crossing their minds. but can't even restrain yourself from doing the most heinous, just despicable acts? Really? And let's be real, we've been seeing plenty despicable acts around here. When are we going to get mad enough at it?
And at the end of the day, like you said, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But I mean, I need to hear from the police force on some of these community policing efforts, what they're going to do. They should know that there's issues within communities. They should know, who's just been, put in a certain situation, or who has issues here and who has issues there. We got to be more on top of things. It comes with more data. It comes with more, report taking. But we got to be aware of what's going on. If you look at other agencies around the world, they know the what is what, the who is who when it comes to a gang culture.
Right. And, even though some things like this, you may not be able to foresee, right? You may not be able to see that this little one had bad and he willing to stop somebody, and you may not be able to see. But for sure, once we start seeing incidences like this, more intervention is definitely necessary. And then maybe some harsher penalties. People who show absolute disregard for human life. I mean, just the story itself, just monsters. I can't even explain it. And it's disgusting. And I think we got to get serious about dealing with people who commit these kinds of acts.
And while we have our teachers murdered, when attacked and stabbed, and obviously a tragic situation there, we have the Minister of Education, Mr. Chester Cooper, defends foreign teacher push. 300 teachers from Ghana, he's defending that. Says Bahamians get priority. No. Where's the priority? And the teachers haven't been paid yet. So if that's any indication of priority, how should they feel about potential new teachers coming in from abroad? Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper yesterday defended the government's push to recruit potentially hundreds of foreign teachers, insisting Bahamian educators will be given first claim on vacancies as the administration moves to confront a shortage unions have described as urgent.
I feel like if you prioritize Bahamian teachers, you don't have to run around saying, I prioritize Bahamian teachers. Like, the thing is self-evident, right? Like, you would know. You would have that agreement with the Bahamas Union of Teachers. It should be like top of the list. Right? Let's get this done. You should have the recruitment exercises to bring in Bahamian teachers that maybe aren't a part of the system yet. You would have that running so strong that every Bahamian teacher that's available out there is placed and ready to go. And then you look at your numbers after that, right? This whole idea about bringing the teachers in from Ghana, we do understand that there is a shortage of teachers. We don't know the exact number. They're saying 300. If we take them at their word that it's around that number, how many of those roles can be filled by Bahamian teachers first? And then this idea about when Belinda Wilson said that, we talking the end of August, and that's when the teachers go in. You're talking about, 5 weeks? You're trying to bring in, completely vet, get housing for, acculturize 300 foreign teachers in 5 weeks. I don't think the ministry even has the capacity to onboard those many teachers at one fell swoop, in one quick go. I don't know why this wasn't introduced as a pilot program. Maybe you bring in 50, 75, maybe 100. Perhaps you could get the rigorous vetting that you've promised done in that time. I doubt that's even possible, but let's say you can. And then you see where it goes from there. And then you continue your recruiting efforts in other countries. And you go, first of all, though, you deal with the Bahamian teachers. That's what your priority should truly be. But it's amazing to me because this story went from being announced by a foreign minister of foreign affairs from Ghana to, I heard the Parsec, Mr. Johnson, saying the other day that, he made it sound like the foreign minister was being getting a little bit ahead and exuberant, and that they had not made an agreement yet. I think he said that. And now all of a sudden we're speaking in a tense as if it's a foregone conclusion that, yes, this is going to happen. And we're to believe that you're able to get all of this done in 5 weeks when you have Bahamian teachers waiting to get in the system, waiting to be vetted for how long now? This is just crazy. We have a problem. And yes, the children are a priority. We do need to get those teachers in the classroom, but you don't make a situation better with a knee-jerk reaction. This shortage has existed for years. You need a smart, methodical approach. You need to do your, first of all, prioritizing Bahamian teachers. Then if you move on to bringing in foreign teachers, they need to be properly vetted. I think a pilot program would have worked better in this scenario. You have to see how they're acculturized. You have to tell us, be very public and transparent about compensation to these foreign teachers. And then we have to build on that. Even if we say we're going to bring in the teachers right now, you're still treating the symptom. The underlying problem, the underlying issue is that we need more Bahamian teachers to be incentivized to come into teaching, to stay in teaching, and you need to compensate them appropriately as professionals. You know, that is one thing that I don't understand. For all that teachers do for this country, they still have to fight and scrap and claw just that's commensurate with their with what they give back to the community and with their education that's not cheap and with their experience. You know, let's handle our business at home while we do try to close those gaps in teaching. But you coming to me talking about, oh, he misspoke, we didn't make an agreement and it's not 300. And then the next day you talking like, oh yeah, this is an agreement, it's good to go with the 300. In the next 5 weeks, we'll get them in. That just doesn't seem like someone with a plan. It seems like a ministry that's kind of giving us a knee-jerk reaction to a very real problem that we've had for a while. And I don't think that's the best way to go about it at all.
Good stuff. Great points. We got to get to the break. Mr. Producer, give me that signal. So let's get to the break. Flip side of the break. MJ and I'll be back to wrap up this Wednesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads, which continues right after this.
When the road get cool, you trust your timing, Jah in control. Hear me pray, me dep on the road. Tryna make a way, me a carry heavy load. Yes, get dark, but me still hold on. If I fall tonight, Jah make me stronger. Bless me hustle, bless me pain. Soon I go shine after all this rain. Me no need much, just open doors. Guide me steps while me chase my goals. You see losses turn lesson real. Pain turn blessing when me feel.
Can only be described as the experience you want to recreate again and again and again. Their motto is simple food done well. You're welcome into their home at Naughty Johnny's, where you can dine on crack conch fritters, and other Bahamian favorites. There's also an international flair that's guaranteed to offer something for everyone. Enjoy a good meal and listen to a live band on their patio Friday and Saturday nights, or brunch on Saturday and Sunday, only at Naughty Johnny's Restaurant in the Old Town Plaza, Old Fort. They're open 11 a.m. till 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. on Saturday, and 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Sunday. Naughty Johnny's. Well, what did you
try to rest? Roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
We're gonna give you a check every week for a year. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, keep you winning. Percy's Pension Plan, dream big, we will help you live it. Percy's Pension Plan, Island Game, we got you. Percy's Pension Plan, from the friends you can trust. If winning is a must, go play the game you know, cause your best chance is with us. The most trustworthy name is Percy's Island Game. So put 20 on your account and ride this Percy's Island Game.
How often should you change your oil in your car? Every 3,000 miles or 3 months? Definitely by the time the light come on. A car needs oil just like we all need water. Let Muffler World change your oil and oil filters to help you keep your ride on the road. Regular oil changes will save your car's engine. Stop by Muffler World on Mackey Street or Robinson Road to have your car's oil changed in no time flat. Muffler World on Mackey Street is open on Saturdays 8 to noon.
Summer's here, and KFC's got summer buckets just for you. Every bucket starts with 8 legs and thigh pieces of your favorite chicken, plus 4 golden biscuits. Grab the value bucket for just $20 or go big with our mega bucket, packed with everything you need for summer fun on the beach, boat, or on the road. Need more? Add 4 Pepsis, Fountain Fries, or the new mango dessert biscuit for only $5. KFC's summer buckets have big flavor, big value, and finger-licking good chicken only at KFC Nassau.
Hey kids, are you ready? It's back! The Jeff Rogers Summer Basketball Camp. July 27th to 31st at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, 2 to 5 p.m. daily, and August 3rd to 8th, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for boys and girls from 5 to 18. Come enjoy the thrills of the big game alongside NBA legends and current superstars Michael Sweetbells Thompson, Michael Jr., Klay Thompson, Buddy Hield, Muggsy Bogues, and many others. Registration forms available now at the Seventh-day Adventist offices on Tony Williams-Darling Highway. The Jeff Rogers Summer Basketball Camp.
You're listening to Talking Heads with Naughty and Mary Jane. Only on Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM.
Bless me hustle, bless me pain. Soon I go shine after us open doors. Guide me steps while me chase my goals. Me see losses turn lesson real. Pain turn blessing when me feel. Had to move with no direction. Now me walk with intention. Steal them dope me. Say me now win, but them not know the war within. I had to fight for rise again. No, me stronger through the pain. Me not perfect, me just try.
We're back at you on the Wednesday, July 15th edition of Talking Heads. Naughty and MJ in your company right up until 6 p.m. And got a couple minutes before we wrap, so I definitely want to try to get this in here. So you mean to tell me now, MJ, what is at it? They're warning the public that accounts held with licensed gaming houses operators must only be used for approved gaming-related purposes and not for other business or commercial activities? What said accounts maintained with licensed gaming operators must not be used to receive or hold funds for any non-gaming purpose.
Yeah, what's a non-gaming purpose? Well, it was a non-gaming. Listen, it's so funny to hear from the gaming
If you
board
put
because
money on any one of my gaming accounts, is for me to go gaming. I've had a bad day of gaming. I guess I need some more to go gaming.
it's so weird to hear the gaming board now want to come, giving us a reminder, a caution, trying to caution the Bahamian public now, talking about, if you use these accounts outside their intended purpose, it may result in an investigation. Did y'all finish the investigation or come to us in particular members of the cabinet that we're not even sure that they've completely divested themselves of their gaming interests? You all bothered to spend any time trying to come up with a better response to the public than that very weak one that you came up with once we were asking questions so much? So this is where public trust comes in. Because you got to be able to trust that these actual authorities and regulators are doing what they're supposed to do, and that they speak with any kind of level of, with us having confidence in them when they speak. So let's listen to what the gaming board has said. They said that, you're supposed to be using these accounts for approved gaming regulated. But have you guys done an investigation? Do you have some results that you want to present to the public? Do you find that persons are doing this? Because if we are going to be 100% real, yes, people perhaps may, and I don't know of any, I don't have a gaming account, but perhaps they may be using the money, to send money to auntie in the family islands, to send money to cousin in the family islands because of the banking situation. See, you don't have a lot of retail banks in these family islands, but wow, look at that. There's a gaming house, and I can actually put money here if I need to get it to my mommy or my auntie quickly, and they can get it on that end. The gaming board knows exactly what is happening and why it is happening, and instead of helping us as a country to try to address the underlying cause of why persons may be using it in a way that it was not intended, as they say, they want to come down on patrons. I would like to see how they're going to go about their investigations and determine, because, maybe it was put to my account and perhaps I did think about spinning, but no, you know what? The light
Where's
bill
mine?
came due, and I don't want to spend anymore. I'm just going to withdraw my money and go pay a bill or go do something else with it. So, they're coming with this announcement. We get what they're trying to do, and we get why they're trying to do it, and there may be legitimacy in that. But there are other issues at play, and also you need to go and deal with the gaming houses. Go and do that as well. You're warning
Do
the
your due
public
diligence all the way around.
happening with your relationship with the gaming houses. Maybe you need to talk to them. Are you auditing their books regularly? Are you auditing the accounts? What are you doing? Are you doing your job? Or are you just saying this for saying sake, saying this because maybe you're getting some pushback from other sectors that may be in competition for this kind of activity? Like, what is happening here? I would need to hear a little bit more from the gaming board because I get what their role is and I would like to see them successful in their role. But this is why, like I said, you have to maintain public trust for people to take you seriously.
Let's get to the phone lines. Talking Heads, last caller of the day. Talking Heads. All right. Well, you would have been the last caller if you didn't draw, but that's okay. MJ and I about to wrap this one up anyway. Let me get these couple of texts in as well. A couple of more texts real quick. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. I hope they're not bringing teachers from Ghana who specialize subject areas and their transcripts are graded C or below. If that is the case, whose children are they going to teach? Ghana is too far for them to come here only to be sent back because they do not meet the required standards. But why so many teachers from one country, though? I believe this hiring offsets the deal the government has with the African Bank.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I think when you're dealing with the amount of things that the ministry is going to have to do to have this all done in 5 weeks, I don't see it as even being possible unless they do a thing where they allow these persons to go on the job while this vetting is happening. And is that really the ideal situation for our children? I mean, come on. Let's be realistic now.
What is BGC? Why are we paying them anything? Are they simply siphoning guaranteed profits from BEC and handing it to investors? Can the Securities Commission investigate what was promised to the investors in the IPO?
Well, no, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I mean, BGC is, we're told that they're doing their end, they're responsible for the upgrades for transmission and distribution, right? Like, that's their part of it. We own 40% of that company. So, I mean, there was a data dump that didn't give us all of the specifics that we want to know, but we got a general idea about what BGC is supposed to blame when we have these extended outages. I don't know, because unless you do like Minister Pia Glover-Roll and ask very specific questions, maybe you don't get I didn't know that Golden Gate was out for 2 days. That seems to be like beyond the pale to me, but now we only know the time because a question was actually asked and answered. We get the minister saying almost like a kind of Pollyanna, everything is fine when we're living in a reality that is screaming at us, everything is not fine. But as far as BGC goes versus BPL, unless they're more open about what's happening in these situations, we don't even know who to blame.
Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. How unfortunate for the Bahamas that we have the same minister for the two of the biggest failing ministries, aviation and utilities. Good afternoon, Naughty and MJ. We don't know who the high-ranking politician number one is and what national resources they're selling. Access to paid airport runways, sale of private islands, lucrative no-bid contracts, national documents, elections, job placements. We literally have no idea what they are bartering today in the House of Assembly.
And they want us to give politician number one a raise. Yeah, right.
Rather than 300 foreigners imported by the government and get paid handsomely and on time, that same number of Bahamians should be engaged into public sector. Frankly, all private schools that can't pay their teachers should be fully adopted by the government. And here comes Sabas with, oh my, look at financial transactions. Okay, here's your banking license. Welcome to the Robin Hood Bank.
I mean, there's definitely some interconnected issues going on, but it doesn't help to just, have these vague ideas about what you think should be happening when Bahamians live according to what is convenient to them. And I mean, that's just a fact. Maybe they're doing these things that they may not regard as illegal because they feel as though this is the convenience being offered to them. So there's so many questions there. And Go ahead, Gaming Board. Write another statement, because y'all kind of mealy mouth. We know what y'all trying to say, but we gonna let y'all say it before we fully respond to it.
And with that, we got to get to the break, MJ. Great show, as always.
Did England win? Did Argentina win? Who won?
Argentina, 2-1.
There you go.
I'm big up the party today, holding it down for Chicago. He'll be in tomorrow, holding it down for us. And, of course, I'm giving Pearly a break. A lot of them Dodgers pitchers let up some runs last night, man. I thought the National League was going to beat the American League, but no. 4-0 Americans over the Nationals. And who was the MVP? A Yankee, Cody Bellinger. Thank you very much.
There you go.
All right, so you got Pearly tomorrow, and MJ and I will be back in on Friday for Talking Heads. And keep it right where you got it. The news is coming up next, and we'll see you Friday right here on Talking Heads.
Me just try. Still I look up to the sky. Every day me ask Jah why, but me trust him so me comply. If me cry, Jah hold me tight. If me fall, if me hide. Every chance when me take, no make them go to waste. Keep my family safe at night. Shine your light when me lose sight.